Happening tonight, we're going to go to night one of the Democratic National Convention taking center stage in Chicago, with President Joe Biden expected to give the first major speech at the convention.
It comes as candidates on both sides of the aisle enter another critical week in the race for the White House, and Michigan remains a big part of the battle.
Democrats welcomed into the Windy City by thousands of protesters calling for an end to the war in Gaza. 7 News Detroit reporter Whitney Burney is following their efforts. Whitney.
Well, Glenda, Simon, we are expecting almost 5,000 delegates tonight, celebrities, 2 former presidents, and the current one speaking tonight and passing that torch to Kamala Harris. Almost 1 month to the day since ending his re-election campaign, President Joe Biden heading to Chicago, not as the nominee, but taking the stage tonight, speaking to a newly energized Democratic base at the party's national convention. Thousands of people have arrived in Chicago, including the 2 at the top of the ticket.
We get an opportunity tonight to say a thank you to the best president of my lifetime.
The DNC's Monday theme is dubbed "For the People," a phrase the president used in his primetime speech explaining why he's dropping out. Each night will have its own theme and celebrity host, kicking off with actor Tony Goldwyn, who played President Fitzgerald Grant III on ABC's Scandal. Outside of Chicago, the Trump and Vance campaign plan to crisscross the country, holding events in key battleground states. Over the past few weeks on the campaign trail, the former president has struggled to stick to the issues, often resorting to personal insults. This week, Trump vows to focus on safety, immigration, and the economy during the tour.
Everyone was better off when you had a gentleman named President Donald J. Trump at the helm. Does anybody know him?
Both Trump and Vance's first stop this week, Pennsylvania.
Kamala, if you really want to bring American manufacturing back to this country, might I suggest you vote for Donald J. Trump?
Harris and Walz also stopped in Pennsylvania this weekend en route to the DNC. The dynamics of the election have shifted, with Harris bringing new energy and momentum for her party. Still, she insists her campaign is the underdog.
We have a lot of work to do to earn the vote of the American people.
Now, part of the anticipated 50,000 protesters expected outside of DNC are several dozen Metro Detroiters, including some of the abandoned Biden campaign group. That group began back in October after Biden failed to call for a ceasefire in Gaza. That same group now pledging to abandon Kamala Harris in the same way. They say Harris represents the same policies as Joe Biden when it comes to Israel and has not made real strides towards calling for a ceasefire and an end to the war in Gaza. The group says they are in Chicago hoping to sway other voters to vote third party if they don't see policy changes from Democrats. The campaign now platforming people like Jill Stein and Colonel West, telling voters this isn't necessarily an endorsement, but to show there are other options.
We don't believe the Democratic Party is taking this seriously, and I genuinely believe that they think that they can ignore this completely and still win due to the new energy that surrounds Harris. And so we don't hope to get anything out of the Democratic Party. What we're hoping is that more people are able to open their eyes, open their ears, open their hearts towards the reality that actually exists today, which is that this administration isn't anything new. It's actually a continuation of the Biden-Harris administration.
Now, Kamala Harris is expected to speak at the DNC on Thursday. Meanwhile, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is due in Howell tomorrow, his 6th stop to Michigan this year. Trump will talk about crime and safety at the Livingston County Sheriff's Office starting at 3 p.m. That event is not open to the public. Glenda?
All right, Whitney, thank you.
And of course, we'll be following the race for the White House and Democratic National Convention every step of the way. We're also streaming President Biden's primetime address tonight.